Hey everyone, welcome to another Facebook Live here at Jill's office. We're really excited to talk to everybody again. We've been doing these scheduling spotlights for a couple weeks now just to talk about some of the calendars that we use, some of the systems that we are fully trained in to help our clients to go above just, giving that great customer service experience to actually booking jobs, booking estimates. Which is great. So we've been talking a little bit about some of those systems, and we've had some guest speakers on to talk about their systems and how they work and how they benefit our clients. And so today we thought it would be cool to go over online booking links and Google Calendar, and also highlighting specifically Calendly because it is one of our favorites and personally my favorite. So we have, again, my name is Nicole, this is Michelle, and we also have Damaris and Kaylin. And so they are, Damaris is one of our Jills and she is amazing, and Kaylin is also one of our account managers and she's over Google Calendars and Calendly and anything else?
Yeah.
And so yeah, so that's kind of what we're going to go over today. Please, if you are jumping on the live, just comment below, let us know if we're actually scheduling appointments for you. And what calendar system you're using, and if you have questions about any of these calendaring systems, we would love to chat with you a little bit more. So
to kind of dig in, what we love about online booking links is it opens up this whole door of being able to schedule on all these systems that we may not be specifically trained in, just because it makes it so one of our Jill receptionists cannot know anything about your system, or a lot of times anything about your company, and be able to give out pricing, schedule them an estimate without having to log in, without having to know the ins and outs of the system. So it really, again, yeah, it just opens up the door. So if you are using a software that isn't one we're specifically trained to log into, we could still schedule for you if it has an online booking link option.
Yeah, and I think one of the important things to remember too is when you're offering appointments to customers, you want to make it as easy as possible for your customers to schedule appointments. So if they're wanting to call someone and talk to somebody on the phone, they can call into Jill's office. But if they're very much a hands-on person, do-it-yourselfer, like myself, I will go on someone's website and book my own appointment. And so without online booking links, I mean, you don't have that option for your clients to book themselves. It is a little bit hard to give up that trust in the beginning, let customers book themselves. But I mean, it's kind of what is happening nowadays.
Yeah,
and so
especially with the younger generation.
Even in the service industry, you can go on and book yourself an estimate or get a quote just on the website without talking to anybody. You still need the live part. People want to talk to a live person, but sometimes they're really busy. They want to know that they can easily book something, and they want to see that on your website. So yeah, I kind of want to get some feedback from Damaris and Kaylin about online booking links and things like that. Is that cool?
Yeah, let's go for it.
Yeah, can you all hear us okay over here?
You probably might
turn your volume up a little bit.
Yeah.
Or move the computer closer.
Yeah.
So yeah, what do you like about online booking links?
And Nicole brings up a good point as far as like the live person. A lot of the times the callers call and saying, "Oh my God, you answered the phone," and a lot of the other businesses they had called prior for whatever reason, they just lost that caller or that customer. But what I like about online booking links is that I'm able to help the customer right away, and that's critical, I think.
Yeah, that's huge. We can help them. We can more than just take a message. We can actually get them booked. And then also one benefit about an online link, rather than logging in, it's a lot faster. It makes the calls even faster. The caller can get taken care of faster because we're not having to log in. We're not having to do all the different parts. It just is a quick way to get that call, get all their information, get them scheduled. Boom, you got a job and they're happy. They got it taken care of.
Mm-hmm.
Right, not going to the dashboard and then, trying to have conversation or side comments to kind of keep them entertained while we're logging on. That's also awesome. It keeps the minutes down, and the efficiency level goes up.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. It's a great one.
Yeah, I talked to someone earlier that he was wanting us to schedule for him, but we're not able to access his scheduling system that he uses, but it has an online booking link. So he was super excited about that because we'll still be able to schedule for him. And I think, like we kind of already talked about, that's the main things that we still can schedule for them because of that online booking option.
And which one was he using?
It was called,
was that the Made?
Made?
Oh gosh, now I remember.
Made Easy?
Service Made, maybe.
Yeah, I think so.
Zen maybe.
Zen. There's so most scheduling systems do have some option, even if it's not actually putting the appointment on the calendar, it's at least requesting the appointment. So if you're using a system, so that as of this date, the systems that we'll actually log into are House Call Pro, Jobber, Market. I'm trying to think of what other ones we will actually respond to bid. And then we do use Google Calendar, which we'll touch base in a minute. And those, if you're not using one of those systems, if you have an online booking link option, that's a great way for us to be able to schedule for you. So yeah, most systems out there do offer that. And so it's a great way, like the JNAPS one, Square has one.
A lot of systems too, if they don't have, I've noticed if they don't have online booking, they might have some option to have lead forms.
Right.
And so if you have the ability to, if you have a system that maybe Jill's office doesn't schedule in, if your scheduling platform provides lead forms, you can essentially put a lead form on your website. So it can say like, get a quote here, or you know, they can put their information in there, their name, their phone number, what they're looking for. That lead form can then come to Jill's office, which can turn into an outbound call, maybe to follow up with people, to provide some kind of connection with those customers. Right. And I'm using it a little bit backwards. We can use the lead forms as Jill's office. When people call in, we can actually fill out those lead forms so that they get put into your CRM if it's a system that we are not using, that we don't log into, right? Did I cover all that?
Yep, great. Absolutely.
So
are we going to talk Google first, or?
Let's go over Calendly.
Okay.
First. So online booking links, really, they're great, like for everything we mentioned, because you can set up your parameters for what you want done. So what you're doing in online booking links is you're setting what days you can have appointments scheduled, what times. Every system, I'm sure, is different as far as what they allow you to put in there, but you're creating everything that, so here, or your customers, they don't need to guess when they can put appointments down. It basically has it all built out so that you only see what's available.
Right. And like buffers in between appointments, if you need time, in case a job goes long or for traveling, you can set all that up within your settings.
Right. And Calendly is probably our most favorite because it is very simple once you have it set up. We use it for so many clients. They have a free version if you want just one user, just very simple scheduling. So for instance, if you just want us to schedule estimates or schedule jobs, can set that up under one user. And it connects to your Google Calendar. So if you put an appointment in your Google Calendar, it will block out the time in Calendly. If you put an appointment in Calendly, it'll shoot it over to your Google Calendar. So here at Jill's office, the Jills don't have to decide where to put an appointment. They will only see what is available, assuming that you set up all the parameters correctly. But what it does is when you set it up correctly, it eliminates all those chances of making errors by manually scheduling and trying to find out where to put times and for how long, because it's already set up. And so it's really great. Like Damaris said, it does help with efficiency in your minutes because the calls, they go smoother for one. So, the Jill feels more confident, the customer feels more confident, and the calls go smoother and they're a little bit shorter.
Yeah, and as you guys have probably both noticed too, we're talking about Calendly in particular right now, but this is with a lot of them. You can usually customize the questions too.
Yeah.
So then as your customer or your Jill receptionist is taking that call, they can go through all the questions to get them booked. What kinds of things have you guys seen people put in as questions to ask?
Well, the questions to ask are always helpful, but say, for example, if I haven't answered that for your company just yet, having the details of that service or job provided is great, because these are the questions that they want to know. They want to know, how long does this, say, carpet cleaning, the carpet takes to dry? When can I start walking on it? How long will this service last? Or, how long will the guys take to get there? All these details that you can provide in these for us to have there. It's one less thing that we have to kind of call you back and ask, and then go back and forth, and now the customer is wondering why I don't know all these, I guess, the details. But it's really awesome to know, even if I haven't answered for that company or business, to be able to answer the customer's questions, and I feel confident, providing all these details. So
that's true. I think confidence is a huge thing with it too, because like if you're confident on a call, like you can do it so well. Like you were saying, it goes a lot smoother. And with Calendly, like it's all right there for you, and then it's like not only easier for us, but then easier also for like on the other end. You get that, and all that information is right there for you. It's easy to access and all in the same spot.
Right. Another huge perk about Calendly in particular, and some other systems have this as well, but it does provide you the option that you can collect credit card information if you're wanting to like get a deposit, or if it's like for a medical thing and there's a certain fee for that appointment. It's a great way to get it right there. Again, in the system, they've built a secure portal for us to be able to put that in and get that on the call.
Yeah.
It's a good perk of it.
Cool. So if we want to take a look at Calendly, can you share the screen with Calendly? Well, I need to get on it right here, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to pull up my Calendly account. So if you are watching this and you're interested in using Calendly, we will show you exactly what it looks like, how to create an event and how it links in with your calendar. Okay, here, do it for me.
All right. She's a Calendly whiz, but we're all learning Zoom, right? Everyone's getting their doctorate in Zoom now.
I just love Calendly because it's just easy.
It is easy. And it's easy to make changes on it too if things change and you want to change your blocks. Okay.
So
Here we go. So,
okay, is that showing up right?
so this is the back end. This isn't what the customer sees, but this is what you see setting it up.
So if you have a Calendly account, first thing you usually see is you log in, you go to calendly.com, you will log in with your Google account. So it'll link your Google Calendar. Under that Gmail address, it will link it with Calendly. So what you want is for Calendly to be looking at your Google Calendar so it can compare it can see any conflicts. So it can see if you have an appointment already scheduled on that day, it's not going to show availability. So you're eliminating the chance of double booking appointments. Okay. So on my Calendly dashboard here, I have, I set up this appointment just as an example, consultation. So if you were in some type of setting where you are booking consultations, we do have a lot of clients who, sorry, I turned that, who have us book consultations for them. So we have CPAs, you know, just whatever it is, whatever you name your appointment types, you can change that. So I did set this up. They're 15-minute long one-on-one appointments. You can set up appointments that are big group settings as well, so multiple people can schedule at the same time. For the most part, our clients have one-on-one appointments. And so this is just on the back end setting it up. So just to give you an example, if you click on new event type, we have a lot of clients in the home service industries that need us to schedule, say, estimates for them. So if you were going to create an appointment type, you wanted us to schedule estimates. First off, I'm already logged into my Gmail account. So you want to create.
And do you want to, so are you saying Gmail because you can connect it to your Google Calendar?
Am I saying that right? Am I saying something wrong?
You said you're logged into your Gmail account?
I'm logged into my Google Gmail.
So Calendly connects with Google Calendar. So if you are, if you use Google Calendar like on your phone for appointments and things, you can use Calendly with it. Mm-hmm. That's actually what we personally do for our appointments. And so it connects with your Google Calendar. So anytime a person schedules on Calendly, it actually goes directly on your phone on your Google Calendar. There's also a Calendly app. Mm-hmm. I've never used that much, but I'm sure that works great too. But we just love the Google integration, right? It all goes on Google.
Yeah, and I think you can use other calendars as well.
Yeah, it probably has several.
I think it works with a couple different ones, but I know that it works really great with Google Calendar.
And what we love about it too, if you have other appointments or just you want to block off certain time or you're going to go on vacation or whatever, you can block that off on your Google Calendar and Calendly will read that and see that you're not available and then not provide those times.
Right.
So it's beautiful.
Okay. So if we click on creating a new event, here is blocking myself. Where you would create that event. So say you wanted to create an appointment type for estimates. Let's see. Location would be, I mean, sometimes we have consultations where you're just doing a phone call. So you could do phone call or you could do an in-person meeting. So if you selected that, it's not that one actually. It's custom. Location.
If you're going to do a job, it would basically be at their house.
Right.
In-person meeting would be great for like accountants or insurance
gonna get
agents,
out of
things
there.
like that, where you have an office that you're coming them to meet. But otherwise, you could have it, you could put a custom one. It will meet at your home or your property, whatever you're needing done.
Right. So you can change the location so that you're meeting either on the phone, or you could do like a Zoom call. You can change them, or you could do meeting at their location, or they're coming to meet you. So you can kind of just choose which one you want.
And that's a great option right now with COVID. A lot of people are just doing estimates virtually now, so that you can, pull up their house and everything on your computer, see the measurements. But then if you want that face-to-face interaction where you're actually talking to them and telling them, okay, here's the scope of the job, you could do a Zoom meeting that could be scheduled through Calendly to have that virtual meeting. So you're being safe, but you still have that personal connection and can answer their questions.
Right. So we would basically just set up a little description here, which would be great because your clients, if you're giving them the online booking link, they can see what the description of that appointment will be. Otherwise, your Jills here will be able to see that description as well. So that's a good place to put in an explanation of what this appointment type would be. And then you can customize your event link. And so for instance here, Calendly.com/NicoleRivera/estimates, I could provide that whole link to somebody and they would be able to find my appointments specifically for estimates. And then you can pick your color because that's just fun. So we're just going to go with purple, of course. So, okay. And then here's where you get into the whole, all the details. And this is the part I like the most because it just, when you get it set up right, it all just works so great. And so what you can set here is, let me click on that. Oops, sorry. So you can set how long you want your appointments to be. So you can choose 15, 30-minute appointments, we'll choose 15 just for fun. And then you can choose how far ahead people can book appointments. A lot of times, sometimes people don't want anyone to book outside of 30 days, outside of 60 days, or you can just have indefinitely so that people can book appointments just far into the future. If that works for your business, you can change that. You want to set your time zone here. So I'm defaulted to Mountain Time. And then down here is where you have the hours. So what this looks like is I'm taking appointments from 9 to 5. I set it up for 15-minute increments. So between 9 to 5, it'll show appointments during that time. You can click on this and you can change it to like, let's just say 12. And then you take a lunch from 12 to 1. So then you'll create another one from like 1 p.m. to 5 p.m. And then you can apply it to.
That would probably be, 12. I mean, this
did it change it?
Maybe 12. So that makes sense. So then you have that hour break.
Yep. And then, so you can apply it to that day only, or you can apply it to all Mondays. Or if you click down here, you can have it go Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. And we'll leave Friday off because let's just pretend we don't work on Friday. We don't. And or Mondays. We're just doing Mondays. So now you can see on the calendar 9 to 12, 1 to 5. Those are the times that will show that it'll look for on your calendar to see if there are openings. And then under the advanced tab right here, this is important. So you can show appointments in increments of 30 minutes. And so if they look on the calendar, say your whole day is open, they'll see times at 9 a.m., 9:30, 10 a.m., 10:30, 30-minute increments, okay? If you want to show less, you can change the time to whatever you want it to be. You can put your event max per day. We've had clients who are like, I can take an appointment anytime between 8 to 5, but I can only do 2 a day. So that way, if I put 2 max, once 2 appointments are booked, nothing will show up anymore on the calendar, okay? And then this prevents people from booking too close to, last minute. So if you want to take same day appointments, you can, and say maybe you want at least 4 hours advance notice. You can put 4 hours in there. If you don't want same day appointments, you can put 24 hours. So no one will see appointments within the next 24 hours. So that's totally up to you. And then you can have a buffer. I know a lot of our clients like to have drive time in between. They might not put drive time in the, they set appointments for an hour long. They might not include drive time in that. So they might want to put 15-minute buffers before and after appointments. And Calendly, when you're booking it on the actual link that I'll show you after we set this up, it will not, it'll take away the next appointment type because it'll give it a 15-minute buffer. And so it's going to follow all these different parameters and it's pretty cool.
Yes. So one thing I was going to mention that I've seen people do before with counties too. So say you service, your service area is a pretty big area that you don't want to be driving all around all day. I was trying to see if I had a sample. I thought I created one at one point, but basically you could create different event types with the name of the county. And so whatever on the call, you know, we could ask them what's your county, and then based off what they say, click on that specific calendar, and then you can create it that you're only going to those areas on certain days or at certain times, so you're not driving all around the place.
Right. That's a really good way to that's a really good option, because we can't know all of the areas of every single state. Even in the state of Utah, which is where we're located, we can't know every single, you know, county and piece of every place, you know, and we want our clients to have, you know, optimized appointments. But really our primary goal is to make sure we're capturing those callers, we're getting them on your calendar and providing really good customer service. So it is one of the hurdles is trying to figure out how to schedule them and optimize those drive times. So like Michelle was saying, a good option is to create appointment types. Like this one's titled estimate. You could title one Davis County and have them set to only Mondays, and then you could have Salt Lake County set to Tuesdays, you know, and so on and so forth. So that's a good option. So after you have that part set up, the additional options are actually really important. So invitee questions are defaulted to name, email, and it would have been phone number if I put that this appointment type was by phone. But you want to add things in here that you want to know about your appointment, about your customer. And so, for instance,
how did you
hear about us is a really good one. Typing skills are live.
And you can choose whether it's required or it's just something that we ask, and if they're willing to answer, they can. Or again, if you're putting this on your own website, you want to have ones required if, you know, you really do need it, but you also want to make it not too hard for people to go through. So if it's something that's not super important, put it on there, but don't make it required. And that way, if you got those speed demons that are like, I got 1 minute and or else you've lost my attention, then they can at least just go through and do a quick schedule.
Yeah. So if you're doing, for instance, you were going to be doing window cleaning, you might want to know how many stories the home is. That's a question you could put in there. You might want to know square footage of the home. So that's another question you could put in there. And then what's another one? The address. You want to know the address in case you have different, you know, service call or, you know, different fees for depending on where you're traveling to. So if that applies to you, you could put in there the address. Most people, I mean, most of our clients in that industry want to know the address where they're going to service them. So that's kind of a no-brainer.
Well, especially if you're scheduling an appointment, you got to know that. So, yeah, that would be a required field.
Right. So I'm not going to add all those in here right now because you kind of get my point. And then there are options, notifications and cancellation policy. There are options to add things in here that do come with some upgrades. So you might have to upgrade if you want some of these other things in. Calendly will send your customer a confirmation that they have an appointment. So that's great, because if you're just using Google Calendar, you'd have to add their email into the event for them to get a notification.
And the cool thing about Calendly, again, if you're just using Google Calendar, why to switch over? Not only do they get that initial confirmation, but you can set it up for them to get text reminders, as you see here. I want them to have an email, you know, the day before, an hour before, 5 minutes before. You can set up as many different reminders. It's totally customizable to make sure that they actually show up, because no-shows are like the worst feeling. Right. It's so frustrating.
Yeah.
Text reminders.
Yeah. I know.
It's huge, right?
I need them. And you know, everybody's so busy all the time. You have so much going on. Like, who really remembers all their appointments? I got a text yesterday that I have a dental next week.
Well, and you forget in the moment, like my kids are back in school, they have early out. I knew it all morning. Then, you know, we got busy in the middle of things. And then someone's like, oh, wait, don't you have to pick up your kids soon? I'm like, yeah, where's my text reminder? Because they have early out. So, I mean, text reminders are huge. And I think having multiple ones, because even if they remember that morning, doesn't mean they remember 10 minutes before. So that's really helpful.
Yeah. And so for confirmation, you have some options to have them go to a different confirmation page, or, you know, to change it, whatever you want it to be. You can have a custom link there. And then, like we were saying before, you have the option to upgrade and accept payments. I believe, I haven't used this portion, but you can do Stripe, PayPal. Those are two systems that do integrate really well, and I like both systems. So yeah, so that's kind of just the overall how to set this whole thing up.
Maybe show them what it looks like. Is that what you
Yep,
yeah.
I'll show. So over here too, just as a reminder, you have calendar connections. So if you click on that, you want to make sure your Google Calendar that you want to match events to, and you want these appointments to go onto, you want to make sure that it's in there and that it's live and active. And so if I click View Live Page, you can see what this looks like. I need to open up my Google Calendar also. So you can see here tomorrow that I have these appointments available. So just as an example, we'll book a couple appointments because I think we put in there 2 per day, right?
I didn't even realize. So it has add guests. So if you have multiple people you want to send the reminder to.
Yeah.
That's nifty.
I don't think I need to fill any of those out. So we'll just schedule that one.
And they can select their time zone. That's easy.
And then, yep, that's right, the time zone thing. So down here, you can, if you are servicing multiple, an area that services multiple time zones, the customer themselves can choose a different time zone here, and then the times will reflect in their own time zone.
Right.
If we're scheduling for a client that's using Calendly, we would click on this and we would choose their time zone that they're in.
And then over here is where you can customize, like when you write in the description, you can have more information over here.
Mm-hmm.
I know Damaris had kind of touched on that. If there's information that would be helpful to the caller to know right here as they're booking themselves online, or that you would want the Jill receptionist to relay as she's scheduling, you can put some information in there.
Mm-hmm. Yep. So I'm just gonna go here and see how it took away some times. So I had all this time available earlier, but because I booked that one later in the day and it's considering my buffer times, now my next appointment is at 2:30 because assuming I took a lunch and then it gave me a 15-minute buffer before this appointment, it took away the 1:30 appointment. And so we'll just, we'll book the 2:30 and do a test, because what it should do, because I set up that we only do 2 per day, it should take everything away now.
Another note here. So, we've been talking a lot about the service industry. Someone that uses Google Calendars a lot is the medical field, because usually your system that you're using to schedule appointments is one that has like tons of HIPAA security and things like that, which I believe Calendly does have some HIPAA approval or security in there. But where we don't usually have access to log into your actual calendar systems that you use, like your CRM portal for your medical field, your medical business, Calendly they'll often use as just a way for us to schedule consultations. Maybe you're doing like a Facebook
Campaign or something.
yeah,
Mm-hmm.
about a special with some kind of service, and you want us to schedule consultations. What you can do is just say, okay, I'm going to block out this time every day to just have open for consultations, and we can just use the Calendly link to schedule those, and it could either directly integrate on your CRM that you're using, or you can get the email reminders or alerts when we schedule an appointment and then put them on.
Yeah,
that's why we kind of use both systems.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so you can see on the 21st now there's no time available, so you can't click on it. And so the reason that's so important is because we do have, it eliminates the chance of double booking or booking outside of the times that our clients want us to book in, or if you want your clients to have some type of self-service and schedule themselves, you're eliminating the chances of them booking the wrong times and you having to call them and apologize and have to move them. And so this Calendly is just a no-brainer. It's
right?
Great. And so that's kind of how it works, general in a nutshell. And so all of those appointments actually should be on my Google Calendar.
Yeah.
Let me see if I can.
I'm gonna stop the share for a minute.
Yeah. Okay. Let me pull it up and then we'll see if.
Another one that works
showing.
similar, we're not as familiar with it, but a lot of our clients use it, is You Can Book Me. It's another super easy to use. They might have a free version as well. Very similar to Calendly, that makes it really easy to put on your website for people to schedule. Makes it really easy for your Jill receptionist to schedule. So that's another one. Damaris or Kaylin, do you guys have a favorite online booking link that you guys use?
I do enjoy Calendly. I really do.
Yeah,
So-
I love Calendly too. And like we were talking about the time zones, I love that Calendly has that option. Because I was looking into some of it today, and with Google, there isn't that option. You have to kind of like do it in your brain. With the time zones and where we're, helping clients all across the U.S., that switches. And with Calendly, it makes it so easy to like select the time zone, and then you can let the caller know the right time and not have to be like, okay, 1 o'clock here, Eastern Standard Time. Okay, that's right.
Right.
It makes it super easy for us to be able to like just clear out any error there too, to just select the time zone and get them the right information.
That's a really good point.
Having that spot on the side at the very end to relay a message, a quick message, we'll text you when we're on our way. The customers love that. Oh, really? Oh, good, because this and that and the other, and they'll tell you what's going on in their lives or whatever. But yeah, it's really helpful, just the
Right.
step by step, and it's efficient, and I like that.
Yeah. And you just feel better knowing that the system's already set up for you. So you're not worried trying to figure out where to put things and what to do. You can focus more on the customer and your conversation.
Right.
So, do I do this again?
So you're actually just.
I'm going to show you guys my calendar. That one right there. So can you guys see my, oops, I accidentally clicked.
Everything's popping up. Okay.
Okay. Can you guys see this over there? So so those 2 appointments that I booked, you can see them on there. I made 15-minute appointments. I should have made them longer because they're so tiny. But they both showed up on my Google Calendar. And so if I had put, like, say I had a doctor's appointment from 12 to 4, I could literally create an appointment from 12 to 4. And what it would do is it would speak to Calendly. So Calendly would take away the chance of anyone booking any appointments between 12 to 4. And so that's another reason why we usually try to recommend our clients check out Calendly at least if they're using Google Calendars, because we will schedule in Google Calendars for you as well. And so we'll go over that a little bit now too. But I won't lie, we will try to convert you to Calendly. So do you want to go over Google Calendars a little bit?
Sure. So with Google Calendars directly, what we like is to actually have blocks of time when we can schedule. So, when we're using Calendly, I'm just trying to get back to that screen. But as we were talking about, it already gives us, it's going crazy. It gives us the blocks of times. So we don't have to guess, oh, okay, we can do it at this time or this time. We just know these are the available times. Well, if you're not using Calendly, we just need that same thing, but just written out in a format that we can view in our call instructions. So for instance, say you do, 4 jobs a day. We just need to know, schedule one 8 to 11, another one 11 to 2, another one 2 to 5, and then we do an evening one 5 to 8, or whatever it may be, to give us those blocks of times. And then what we do is we actually have you block them out on the calendar. So that way we know exactly when we can schedule. It's very clear to the Jill, and then she'll just put the appointment next to it. Let me go to the week view. So for example, Nicole's gonna have to clean up her calendar later. It's gonna be fun. All right, so we're gonna just create, we're gonna create an appointment here. Say, let's say I do estimates from 10 to 11 every day. So I'm gonna put like estimate available time slot. I'm going to do a repeat that it's daily from 10 to 11. And there's so many options. It's kind of like Calendly, every weekday, custom. And I'm going to put that in. And so now when the Jill gets on, she can see, okay, this is when I'm able to schedule estimates. And then say I do jobs, we're going to make this super easy, but just I do 1 job a day from 12 to 5. It's a good schedule. It works from 10 to 5. So, oops, and I forgot to recur it. You can, if you just were doing it, you have a different, I've seen some people, it's like they create a new schedule every 2 weeks. As long as you remember to go in and block it, you can. But usually it's helpful just to make it easy on everyone. If you do it the same blocks, reoccurring. Okay, so when the Jill goes in, she's going to look for if anything's else scheduled at that time. So for instance, Nicole's got a dental appointment. Okay, I can't schedule at this time block. She's not available. Or she has something else here that day. But I can look for an open spot. There's nothing here. I'm going to go ahead and get John Jacobs scheduled for his carpet cleaning. And then I can go through and make sure that the Jill will actually match it up. So it's going to be from 12 to 5. And then I can put information in there like his address, his phone number, and all that. The Jill will put that information in here.
I was going to say, if you want to show how to add questions, you know, in the description, and you can repeat that on every appointment.
You're really good.
Okay. I think we're still doing this.
Basically, the Jill's going to match it up
with
with
your
the
blocks.
actual appointment next to it.
Right. And so for this appointment, for instance, Jill can click on this and see it. I don't know if we're still opening these and reading them, but previously I liked to have some questions in here.
So when you create the block, you can put
this is just an option.
Right.
And things like this that you like in, because if you hit save.
Do some clients still have that set up, Damaris?
I was going to say.
You know, since I haven't seen these extra notes there, not too much now.
Okay.
Your dinosaur, Nicole. That's the old days. Well, we can put those questions in the call instructions within the Jill account so that they know to add those in.
I liked to have these in here because, I mean, we used to do it a little bit different previously, but if a Jill ever wanted to book and they clicked on this, the questions are right here.
It does make it easy. I mean, I don't think it's a bad thing to put those in so they double see it. But I think probably the reason why is they're putting an appointment right next to it. So
right.
Opening
it again. So disregard everything that I said. Just rewind back 2 minutes. But still, you could put it in there. I mean, it doesn't hurt.
That would be nice. I mean, it would be nice to have that.
I think we just haven't had people do it in so long, because what we used to do is we used to click on this and just rename the appointment. But now we're booking side by side.
Yeah, we book side by side. And again, if you're going to be out of town or you got something going that day, just block it off, and then the Jill would see that. For instance, I say I'm unavailable this day, so I can just put appointment in here, unavailable, and then and I didn't spell that right.
Well, what I also think they would do is just delete that box.
That's true. There's two options. You can either delete it, but then you just have to be careful you don't delete all the future appointments. Sometimes you can accidentally do that.
So if this sounds confusing to you at all, you should just sign up for Calendly.
Calendly. We'll set it up.
We don't get any type of like kickback from Calendly at all. It really is better just for your customers. It is really smooth, and it automates a lot of things. And so we're all about automations as much as we can, and then to give a great personable experience with a live person when it's necessary. But anything you can automate system wise is always great.
Right.
There are other options besides Calendly. There's Acuity. Acuity is also really great. Have a lot of clients that use Acuity.
And we will log into that one, but they also have a phenomenal
online booking link. Yeah. So
yeah, you can book me. That's another just general one that we talked about previously. There's a lot out there. There's so many calendars out there. So if you have one that you really like, go for it. We're just focusing on those today. We personally use Calendly. It's a great system. It's super easy and the price is right. But yeah, we can use Google if you just really don't want to use something else. Again, we might try to convince you down the road. We won't push you though if you're really stuck on just Google. And then, yeah, but we just want to make it easy for everyone.
And Kaylin is the account manager over accounts that use Google Calendars and Calendly. And so she would help you get all set up, and she'd be able to answer some of your questions, And Kaylin, if you want to just add in, we've done this before, just asking like, how is this whole setup process and the onboarding for someone using Google Calendars or Calendly? Like, is it pretty easy for them to just get up and running once they get signed up?
Yeah, it's super easy. I've helped a few people with it already. Like we've talked about, Calendly is a lot easier too. It's super easy to just get everything in there. It's pretty self-explanatory, like Nicole explained it earlier, to be able to walk through it. But also I've been able to like log in for some of our clients and help them set it up themselves, because some people aren't as tech savvy. But it's super easy to just get up and running, just 1 to 2 days, like getting everything, including, Calendly or the Google, whatever, to be running like fully with Jill's office. But I love how Google and Calendly integrate too, because the blocking out on Google makes it so easy that no one can book that. Like if you have your dentist appointment or whatever it is, like that's your time, it doesn't get booked. So I don't know, just making it the fact that it integrates helps a lot too.
Absolutely. One thing we should probably touch base on, The one drawback about using an online link is it does make it so we can't cancel or reschedule appointments. What do we usually tell people about that?
So what I like, well, do you want to ask Kaylin?
Yeah. Do you want to take that question, Kaylin, or do you want to pass it back?
So
What was the full question? Sorry.
So
how do you handle cancellations or rescheduling?
If we're using an online booking link, because we're not logging in, so we can't move an appointment.
Google Calendar, we can.
Mm-hmm.
But if you're using Calendly, so Calendly in particular, they do get an email that allows them to cancel. So you can just tell them, hey, find that email, go ahead and click on it and cancel. Another option is that we can just, those types of things, just send you a message about it and just say, hey, they need to cancel. If they need to reschedule, we can just reschedule them a new time with that link and then just tell you to cancel the other one. So that is one kind of drawback, but I feel like the benefits outweigh that. Usually you aren't getting too many cancellations and it makes it so much easier and user-friendly and more smooth and less scheduling errors, that I feel like it's, even because of that one thing, it's still worth it.
Plus, if you have clients who are repeat customers, you want to kind of train them into your processes. So if you have a system where they can schedule themselves, reschedule themselves, cancel their own appointments, you want that to kind of stay consistent anyway across the board. And they do start to learn how you like things to go. So, for my massages, I know I book them all online and I reschedule them all online. I don't need to call them. I don't need to do different things. They've trained me well. And so I pay them.
Train your customers. No, that is huge though.
It's true though.
Especially for recurring clients, like help themselves, and usually they like that better because I don't want to call, I feel dumb, or I just don't want to talk to
They feel
anyone.
empowered when they know what they're supposed to do and they know your system, and that kind of translates into customer loyalty and satisfaction also. So to recap sorry, go ahead, Kaylin.
I was just going to say, I think that's a great part of what we do is that, some people really do love that live interaction, being able to call someone and having someone do it for them. But other people really want to just do it for themselves. So having that online booking link and Jill's office makes it so that, if someone does want to call in and talk to someone, they have someone. But if they want to go and do it themselves, they can.
Right. You're touching all the different personality types, all the different or maybe just their mood of the day. I don't know. I don't want to talk to anyone today, or I do want to call someone.
Or year of birth. So
awesome. Well, great. Well, we appreciate all you guys joining us today. If you have any other questions about how we work with Google, how we work with online booking links, how to set up your Calendly, just reach out to us. We're totally happy to help you however you need. Awesome. And thanks, Kaylin and Damaris, for coming on today. It's fun to talk with you guys.
Thanks everyone for watching. We'll see you guys on another live because we'll be doing a lot more later on different topics. Master classes might be kicking up soon again, so stay tuned for those. We took a break this month just because we had this big scheduling spotlight. And we actually have a lot of discounts for these systems that we've been talking about. So we'll watch your email. We'll be sending out you an email if you are interested in any of these things that we've been talking about. With most of them, they've given us like a special discount. So there's actually a spot in your app now, the Jill's Office app. I can pull it up. It's called the Jill Hub. So we're going to be adding a lot of cool things in the Jill Hub. But one of the things is going to be a link to discounts to all these different partners that we have. So check that out. I'm not logged in, so it might take me a minute. My phone reset. So anyway, check out the Jill Hub. There's also, when you log in from your computer, there's also a link there. And so you can check out all those discounts. And if you don't have a login, it's because you don't have an account with Jill's Office. So just call us. Yeah, sign up. Meet us. We're fun. Cool. And we'll help you out a lot. So thanks again for joining us, guys. Okay, thanks everyone. Have a good rest of the day.
Bye.